Good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to apologize for not being able to join you for this TWI clustering event in Yorkshire. Nevertheless, I wanted to be present there, being the responsible for additive manufacturing in our directorate and the contact point for the Additive Manufacturing Platform. Dear Rob, thanks very much for the invitation to you and TWI. We will discuss the outcomes of the event in the Athens workshop on the 11th of April. Also, thank you all for the enthusiasm and the effort you are investing in additive manufacturing. I have seen in the list of the attendants several of my old projects together with the new ones. This is extremely important in order not to let the advances of additive manufacturing in the drawer, and also for creating the sense of community between the different AM stakeholders. Unfortunately, my agenda is limited in time, so with this video I would like to transmit you my support for the AM conferences, workshops, meetings and clustering events that you are all organizing and also participating. I remember that the thing that most impressed me when I took the responsibility of additive manufacturing in the Commission was not the technology. Yes, it was very nice, it was really cool with all those fancy pictures of Dita Von Teese and those galactic Nike shoes. But what impressed me were the people. It was the enthusiasm, commitment and creativity of the additive manufacturing persons involved. For me, this is a clear and distinctive aspect from other sectors I work in. Do not miss that, please. You know, this is not a hype for you. For me, most of you have been in the sector for a long time. But now back to the numbers, to the current situation of additive manufacturing, I would like to emphasize the role of European Commission in additive manufacturing. Yes, maybe surprising to some of you, but the Commission was a pioneer in additive manufacturing. AM was funded since the first framework program in the period 84 till 87. Of course, those were very simple projects about resin containers layer by layer and cured then by ultraviolet. It was not even called additive manufacturing yet. Afterwards, the following framework programs from 88 till 2013 ensured a continuous support from the different EC services and from different funding programs. For example, only in FP7, more than 60 successful projects based on AM technologies were funded, with a total amount over 160 million euros in EC funding and a total budget of around 225 million. Now, in the new Horizon 2020, additive manufacturing is a part of the key enabling technologies, the KETs, and the call for proposals for 2014 and 2015 have been already published and in some cases already closed. But it is true. Indeed, the Commission has not yet any specific instrument for additive manufacturing. As I mentioned in my last presentation some weeks ago at the Berlin Inside 3D Printing Conference and Expo, I mentioned, is 3D printing an evolution, a revolution, or just simply an illusion? The snowball is becoming bigger and bigger, and the Commission is not blind to that. So, this means that the role of additive manufacturing in the EU policy has just slightly started, but I expect to have more novelties during 2014. For example, so far, European Commission already and explicitly mentioned 3D printing in the industrial policy communication in 2012 as a key part for the new industrial revolution. Also, the Industrial Landscape Vision 2025, published in 2013 by the EC, showed additive manufacturing as a case study on how standards will facilitate new production systems by enhancing EU innovation and competitiveness. And currently, the EC Task Force for Advanced Manufacturing Technologies for Clean Production has highlighted additive manufacturing / 3D printing as a key advanced manufacturing technology. And what about funding? Indeed, the research and technological development through projects funding were key for additive manufacturing, and the EC support will continue under Horizon 2020. In this direction, the Factories of the Future, FOF, public-private partnership, will play a major role in additive manufacturing as a KET. These activities will be primarily developed through relevant industrial roadmaps in collaboration with the most relevant stakeholders, for example, the Additive Manufacturing Platform and new clusters for AM projects. That's the Commission side, but now I would like to share some thoughts with you. Right now, we are facing a new scenario in additive manufacturing. I would like to summarize that in the next three aspects. First, the current hype of 3D printing, both in relation with its name and in relation with the potential application of the additive manufacturing technologies. This is certainly increasing the visibility and opportunities of the technologies, markets and application of AM. But it is also increasing the risk to create fake expectations, business failures and misunderstandings of the use of this technology. Secondly, the most relevant patents of additive manufacturing, for example, laser sintering, are expiring during 2014. Besides, many of the AM technologies are not so difficult to be copied. These two elements, together with the first point, will facilitate the access of additive manufacturing to everyone at the global level. Third, and finally, the investments in Europe have not a clear strategic approach. The huge investment in the US with the NAAMI and also from China, Singapore, Israel, Korea, we cannot forget Japan with the inject technologies, will put certainly the European companies in a difficult scenario. So, what can we do? Where the Commission can help additive manufacturing? Certainly, we need your input and your views. In this sense, I am closely collaborating with the members of the AM platform in order to coordinate the AM advances and its current situation with the Commission agenda. They are providing us with very valuable and important input with the work they're carrying out. Several examples of the input from those stakeholders are, for example, the Strategic Research Agenda from 2014-2020 for additive manufacturing that was recently published. Also, we can find the standardization roadmap from the SASAM FP7 project. Another example is that in the last Impact workshop of FOF, the first cluster of FP7 projects in additive manufacturing was presented. So, this means that things are also moving inside of the Commission. That's why I would like to ask you to ask Rob, TW to concentrate in your workshop in the barriers to act in additive manufacturing via the best practices in the different domains of application for AM. In the next meetings, in Athens on the 11th of April and in the AM platform meeting on the 3rd of June in Brussels, we will keep on developing the most important technological barriers and gaps that the AM sector is facing in Europe. Finally, I would like to mention that, as most of you already know, I am currently organizing a European Commission workshop on the 18th of June in Brussels. The aim of the workshop will be to understand the needs of the additive manufacturing sector and to discuss on how the current barriers could be removed for a further development of AM technologies. We will bring there together into discussion the most relevant researchers, industrialists and end users in the field of AM with the European Commission relevant services. The workshop will also put a special emphasis on the impact of potential policy measures at the union level to enhance the competitiveness of the AM sector in Europe. I have the pleasure to announce that Mr. Phil Reeves from The Economist has confirmed his attendance to the workshop, where he will give a keynote speech at the opening address and will be participating in the rest of it. For us, for the Commission, the outcomes of this workshop will be crucial in order to develop the next step in additive manufacturing inside the Commissions. Besides, new initiatives like clustering of FP7 and Horizon 2020 projects will probably come in the next months, and AM will be also present in many other EC-related events. But now it's time to work, to create and organize the main elements of the AM puzzle so we can fit together all the pieces for the coming future. Thank you very much for your attention. I am sure you will have a very fruitful and interesting workshop today. See you soon.